button too soon. Oh my gosh. All right. Yes, we're live. Hold on. All right. We're in the back porch here. All righty. There we go. There we go. The cat is... Both the cats are bugging the birds. Hold on a second. Oh, yeah. Scaring the cats. Oh, can't hear any birds if the cats kill them all, right? Man, what's up? How's it going, everybody? All three of you, give me the thumbs up. Let's get this video out. I have a few things I want to say, non-trucking related. So this will be a good one. Is Steve gonna do YouTube drama? Oh no. No, we're not. Why deal with the YouTube drama when you can have your own drama in reality, right? By the way, this is brought to you by Cameron's awesome coffee. We got a busy day today. We're going out to the other house to make sure it's good for the tenants. And then we are going to an event that's supportive to 2A. And yeah, so anyways, how's it going? Anybody in here yet? Let me get this, see if notifications went out. Oh, there I am. Turn it down. TC. Nah, that Nostradamus thing is that was a nickname that some people gave me a while back, and because I kind of observed things in the trucking world that people hadn't observed yet. So yeah, that wasn't a knock on you at all, TC. We're talking. I'll give you an example, right? I'll give you an example, TC. I'm glad you're here. There's a great person that I follow on Facebook and on YouTube. His name is CJ the Metal Motivator. I wear his shirts. And he said something that was kind of profound to me. Is that you don't have to, we all have the ability to predict the future. We all have the ability to know what's coming down the line. Now you sit there and say, well, if you're a cigarette smoker, eventually you'll get cancer, right? And then you always got that person, well, my grandfather was 99 years old and he smoked cigars every single day since he was 14, blah, 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 blah. There are exceptions to the rules, but you can look at a person's habits or a country's habits or your government's habits or, any of these things to know that, this isn't going to end well. And that's what I mean by I'm not Nostradamus, but. And so when you look around, those of you driving a truck, what do you see? When you go into, say, Oakland, California, Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, San Francisco, what do you see? Did you see those things 20 years ago? Did you see those things 10 years ago? Did you see those things 4 years ago? To the level that they're at now? And I've been blessed with the fact that I've lived in the same place for the last, 30 some odd years. And Springfield used to be and you prime drivers, you'll see it too if you've been around a minute, like Shadow Wolf and all that. When I first moved here from Phoenix, I hated Springfield. I was just like, this place they just want to be a small town. I was a teenager, right? Didn't know any better. I hated that small town mentality, you know. And it was true. Springfield wanted to be a big city, but they were kind of posers, you know, that kind of thing. And all the luxuries that I was used to with my BMX freestyle thing that I was doing, and the music I was into, it made it more difficult living in the buckle of the Bible Belt, you know, where you know, there's censorship and there's the blue law where you can't even be open on Sunday unless you were like a convenience store. Even Walmart wasn't open on Sundays back in those days. And Walmart was the small store that was giving Kmart possibly a run for their money. And that's fine, TC. We all have fun, right? And anyways, I hated it here. Well, as I became older and more jaded and realized that people sucked, I was like, maybe this place ain't so bad. But then the gangs moved in and said, hey, this looks like prime picking like Little Rock. And thus, the new Springfield, the one that had the first fatality shooting on live PD in the nation, that Springfield was born. Now, we've always had a meth problem here in Springfield, but heroin and fentanyl have moved in and it's taken hold, and you can see it. I call them fentanyl zombies. They walk around, they're doing crazy hand motions, yelling at traffic, big cardboard signs saying, help me, I'm dying, give me money. And, you know, meanwhile, car break-ins are up, shootings are up, robberies are up, carjackings are up. And Little Rock is like taking a bow to us. They're like, wow, Springfield, props. Good on you, right? Good on you. I dated a gal that her dad was the chief officer of the gang task force that were trying to keep the gangs out of here. And he pretty much said back then, you know, 30 years ago, that it was kind of a lost cause, right? Now I'm kind of rambling here, but stay with me here, stay with me, okay? So Sage brought up the opium wars in one of his videos, right? Yes, I agree with you, Charles. Small towns is where it's at now. Now that I hate people and know that, well, I don't hate all people, but now that you realize that community is strength, if you've read the 1 Second After book, you'll know that survival is attributed to community, right? A good community. I gotta choose my words carefully here, but anyways, when it comes to opium wars, what do countries do before they want to take them over? They want to poison the well. Now everybody's like, you know, back whenever the situation that we've been dealing with that has to have you wear a mask for the last 3 years, when the boosters came out, people are like, oh, don't do that, it's population control, don't do that, you know. And there's this narrative that the New World Order is gonna, you know, they want population control and all that, and you know, everybody's thinking it's going to be this one blanket event, right? One blanket event that says we will now decrease the surplus population. In the words of Scrooge, right? No. as I preach in the trucking business stuff, what makes you successful? Consistency. Now, you can call a broker. Bear with me. There's a connection here. Okay, I'm not all over the place. Trust me. There's a focal point here. When you call a broker, when you call on loads, every now and then you get that home run. You get that $5,000 for 300 miles. And those occur. They're called home runs in the spot market world. But if you only do one of those a month, and that's all you do, well, are you successful? No. Why? Because you're not consistent with it. Look in the movie Moneyball. Same thing, right? Consistently getting on base. In other words, small movements create consistency. So it's not going to be one big wide event. It's the little events. It's that sugar in that donut. It's that fentanyl that's coming in through the borders. It's that narrative from the colleges that say that, we need to eliminate some ideologies that create structure, that create roles in the family, these narratives destroy religion. They destroy the four olds, right? The four olds, right? Religion, social activities. What's the other one? Statues, old ways of doing things, right? Now, in the last 3 years, all the old ways of doing things have changed significantly, haven't they? So, now, I have people that say, dude, you're dwelling on this too much. That's why you're depressed all the time. Turn off the news, man. If you're observant, like myself, you don't have to be on the news. In fact, all you got to do is look outside your door. I live on a dead-end street that had a shooting over drugs. And we're a fairly peaceful neighborhood. We had a shooting just a couple blocks this way. Those of you who've been to Kraft in Springfield, you know what I'm talking about, right? So, have you heard of the term, and I'm going to get to the comments. I'm not going to be one of these YouTubers that goes live and never reads comments. I'm going to get to the comments, right? Death by 1,000 cuts, right? So what you have to understand is the perception of America from the outsider's point of view, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I love my country. I am a patriot for what it once stood for. However, in other parts of the world, we are considered the bullies. And so when Sage did the interview with Jeffrey Nyquist, a lot of things made sense that I've kind of observed, but couldn't put words to it, couldn't put two and two together, but I knew that there was a relation there. And I have some friends that are well-traveled around the world, and they've also told me, yes, we are considered in a lot of places a threat and or bully of the world. For example, when we went into Iraq, when we replaced the regime there, I had a friend of mine that served in the military. He gave me a dinar, right? He gave me a dinar as a memento when he came stateside. And I said, let me ask you a question. What is the overall sentiment of the Iraqis? Is it like, hey, thanks, we appreciate you, now we're going to do what you tell me? Or has it been like, thanks, now get the hell out? And he said, bingo. They want to just sort through the crap themselves, right? If you notice, all the tribal wars started to happen again because Saddam had kind of kept that under pressure. But that's a side note, right? I'm not world traveled, and I didn't really kind of get in. That's just my observations from outside looking in. Anyways, there are many people, many countries that want to see us fail. They want to see us die. And so when you read a book like 1 Second After, you realize that there's something coming to a head. And when you look at the how the country is kind of disintegrated, we've never been more divided. We've never been mental illness is at an all-time high. Violence is at an all-time high. You can't even have a friendly family conversation without argument. You have people divided. You have people wearing masks telling you that you deserve to die because you're not. That level did not happen overnight. And you have people like, you know, and the food, people, the food, it's not just opium, it's not just the fentanyl, it's the food. And this is kind of where I started to see the first observations. You know, we go to food for comfort. Food is easy to be addictive. Food is addictive. Addiction comes from dopamine. The dopamine addiction comes from somewhere. What's missing in your life, right? What's missing in your life? You have the most religious, most spiritual people, but they'll still be addicted to the donuts. They'll still be addicted to, you know. And meanwhile, the vegan narrative, well, there's studies that show that kids' brains don't develop correctly because of a vitamin B12 deficiency if they're on a vegetarian diet. Dr. Sean Baker just did a thing about that, right? He showed a picture of a brain scan of a kid that was on a vegetarian diet and then was off, and the brain was bigger. There's a lot of kids, a lot of history that our kids don't even know about. And Jay Cannell made a good point on Pale Rider's feed last night, about money and how the perception of cash money was just completely. We live in the upside down world. And you don't have to have social media on to see that. You don't have to have the news on. All you need to do is lift your head from the phone of watching Netflix for just 5 minutes, and you'll see that you too can predict the future. Death by 1,000 cuts. And so when everybody's talking about rates and managing your trucking business and everything, that's all fine and dandy, but here's the reality. If you don't have your shit together, whether it be business, spiritual, financial, mental, any of it, you are contributing to the death by 1,000 cuts. It's not your fault, because for the last, 20, 25 years, we've been lied to, probably 60 years, but And so when Sage did the interview with Jeff Nyquist, it was like, mine wasn't blown, it just made me more like, wow, okay, well, we're more screwed than I thought. Essentially, we're a football team that we're playing the Patriots, and the Patriots have the air and the ball like deflated, and they have like super spies and the cameras of everybody, and we're 42-0, and there's no chance of winning, or is there? So anyways, let's do some comments and see if you guys are making fun of me yet. Daryl Worth, good morning. Sage News, good morning. Desert Okie Pam, good morning. TC Boggs, Trucking Nostradamus, Mr. Charles. Oh, sir, you were just a small town girl living in Lonely World. Yeah. Small towns are the best part of the USA. I agree, because you go through some of them small towns in Ohio or Indiana, and you're like, if I ever get off the road completely, that's going to be the thing I'll miss the most. And we're fixing to get out of here, here in the next couple of years and join that community, those communities, right? This tour life. Jason, what's up? Good morning. It sounds like home behind you. Thank you. It is. The trees and the birds and the cats doing stupid things, what cats do. Our nation needs to fight back against the Marxists and return our culture to one of civic pride. New World Order, says Jeremy Rice. Hey, it's not depression. I say it's hypervigilance. I'm a realist. Nomadic Brit likes to call me a realist. Because I'm not here to paint a pretty picture for you, but I at least want to tell you that there's some hope. You just got to look for it, right? Dyer. Yep, sure, we're bullies to communists and depots. We're bullies to nations that do not respect human life and liberty. Right. Unfortunately, TC, there's more people that fall to human nature than the ones that do the right thing, right? That comes with being number one. They also look to us as world police, right? And they always got the hand out. Please, sir, may I have some money? We're like, these other countries are like YouTubers begging for money. By the way, feel free to super things with my other channel there. I'm a prime example of food being addictive. And TC Boggs, look, I lost over 100 pounds being a truck driver. I encourage you to watch the video, The Struggle is Real, on my other channel, and see the transformation, because our health, is falling apart. Think about this. I'll use this as an example. So I go to one of my Pew Pew classes, right? And there's a dude in there who seems to interrupt the instructor every single sentence. He knows it all. Like, why the hell are you in this class, right? And he's this big guy, ex-Teamster truck driver, and he's got the purple legs, and I'm not limber enough to show you my legs, but he's got the purple legs, he's 400 pounds, he's talking about food prepping and shit at the fan prepping and stuff like that, right? So we go out on the range time of our class, and we're encouraged to bring our own and afterwards stay to shoot some more, right? All he brings out is, he goes to his brand new, $60,000 F-150, and he busts out this $2,000, Black Rain AR-15, and he's just like, Rawr. Meanwhile, I can kick him in the shins, outrun him, and have myself a free pickup and a free gun, right? And whatever else he probably stores in that. There's a Facebook page I follow called the Not So Very Gray Man or something like that. The Not So Gray Man. These people that display Glock on the back of their trucks. It's like, hey, break into me. I have a truck gun, right? Anyways, you have these people that are so mentally I'm ready if shit hits the fan. Meanwhile, they couldn't run across the street to save their life. Why? How did that happen? How did we become so unhealthy? Could it be the poisoning of our food supply by things that we love called sugar? What's that part in Star Wars where the death of democracy to massive applause, right? And that just, and no one sees the non-logical thinking of that. Like, okay, you've got the fanciest AR, you got the nicest truck, you got probably 15,198 rounds of ammo, but yet you don't take care of your health. And you obviously let some of the narratives, because there's narratives pushing both sides, people. If you're far right, you've been pushed. If you're far left, you've been pushed. If you're in the middle, it's tug of war. And it gets stressful, and sometimes you just got to decompress from all that. And Spectre brought it up one time. Spectre brought it up one time that you can't fight the USA Army. We're the strongest military in the nation. And I'm thinking, okay, well, it's the raving band of bandits, right? You know, and the war, the barbarians of the wasteland. Those are what you got to worry about, right? But if you can't run across the street, how are you going to fight the mob off, right? You know. I had the opposite experience when I was in Iraq, where they were happy to see us there because of the oppression, but some Americans begin to push our beliefs on them and turn them away from us. Yeah, there was a tug of war. There was a narrative probably going on there, right, Chucky? I can't say because I wasn't there, so I'm not even going to pretend to act like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to that. I'm just telling you what one person said on an assumption that I made, which, you know, we all know what the word assume means, right? Countries around the world are judged by their governments, not the working class, regular people. That is true. Yeah, today's patriots have deflated balls. We allowed the commies to be ingrained in academia and our politics that they become emboldened. My brother-in-law died because of being obese and a truck driver. It literally killed him. Marita, and that was one of the things that turned me around on, you know, I did not want to be one of these 400-pound dudes in a truck that has to be, you know, the truck sleeper has to be cut open because I died in my sleep in the truck. I didn't want to be one of those guys, you know. I would I come across these guys that have the purple legs and they're 400 pounds but they got a beautiful truck. They got the chrome, they got the hood, they got the polish, but yet they can't take care of themselves. Next thing you know, they lose their CDL. Now you got a fancy hood ornament that's costing you, you know, $4,000 a month. CPAP trucker, what's up? Show some love, thumbs up. Thank you guys. Hit the thumbs up. Because, again, you don't have to be Nostradamus to see what the future holds. And you know, and the other thing is that we tend to enable. We're enablers. You see bad behavior on social media, we enable it with super chats and thumbs up and add a boy or add a girl. You go ahead and do that thing that I would never do. I'll pay you $10 because you're gonna dance for me, monkey, right? Um, and I probably just ruined the analytics of this video, but anyways, it's again, you don't have to be Nostradamus. If you see somebody doing something destructive, unless there's a major change, it's not going to end well. It's kind of like that scene in Scrooge, you know, or the Christmas Carol where, you know, Scrooge is like, "Hey, man, dude in the that looks like death. Hey, if I change things, will it happen? Well, can I still save myself if it change? You know?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure. Here's your another chance." You know, it wakes up. He's all weird, you know, Christmas morning, and and you know, and he's changed his ways. So now the ghost of Christmas future has been eliminated because, you know, he figured it out, right? Figured it out. Can you figure it out? Anyways, I've had a bit of coffee this morning. He paid to pass his CDL. Yes, there are doctors that you're like, "Hey, man, here's $20. You know, got to get out and walk after 2 hours. No need to drive 8 hours without stopping. Not healthy." That is true. Those of you, I know guys have gastro because of leg clots. Well, get up, walk around. Even if it's like pull in the rest area, don't pull on the shoulder like these Amazon trailer guys. Don't pull on the shoulder to take your 30-minute break. Don't do that. That's dumb. But get up in one of those truck parking areas and just, even if it's raining like crazy, get up, stand up in your sleeper. Unless you don't have a condo, then sucks to be you. But, you know, stand up in your sleeper and move your legs and jump and stretch and, you know, 32 times around your truck and trailer is a mile. Just saying. YouTube takes 30% for paying the dancing monkeys. That's true. And they love the dancing, right? They love the dancing. They want you to donate. There are big channels that they don't like their politics. Google doesn't like their politics, but they will gladly let them do it. Like Timcast, for example. Timcast seems to be an enemy of the state. However, he makes thousands of dollars a night, Monday through Friday, doing in super chats. I can't even imagine what his AdSense looks like, because each of the videos that he cuts up, each of his live feeds that he cuts up, like has thousands upon thousands of views. He's like Asian My Show, you know. And when he goes live, man, people, I mean, thousands of dollars just to get a sentence, because we all want to be heard. We all want our soapbox to say, hey, this isn't right. I hate your opinion, and that makes you an evil person, you know. That mentality has been inbred in us. That's a natural human trait. However, it's been fed and nurtured carefully, right? You know, my kids are like, Dad, you're crazy, man. So I don't talk about a lot of this stuff to them. I just kind of shake my head and just give them some little seeds, you know, here, hey, this is the narrative. Don't fall for it. Hey, don't get on TikTok. It's toxic. Did you know that in China that they limit their TikTok? You can only watch stuff about homework or martial arts or something positive, right? And then there's a time limit of how much you can do. Meanwhile, they're pushing the TikToks over here for people to do stupid stuff in front of the camera, and it's that dopamine rush. You know, you scroll, haha, scroll, haha, and our attention span has gone out that window. And I had a person tell me that they can't watch a video over 3 minutes. It's like ADHD. They're literally manufacturing ADHD, and not just kids, but adults too. And don't believe me? Look around. Don't believe me? If you're sitting there driving a truck, look down. How many people in their cars are you seeing on their phones? How many trucks are you seeing on their phones? People can't go 5 minutes. I imagine some of you are probably driving right now going, well, Steve's right. Steve's right, man. It's been ingrained. When was the last time you were truly bored? Right? Remember when we were kids, if you're my age, right? Remember when we were kids and you're sitting there like, it's summer and can't go to the pool, and you're sitting like, man, I'm bored. And then you tell your parents you're bored, and they're like, I'll give you something to do. And so you run outside and you stay out till the street lights came on, and you were good to go. Remember those days? Facebook likes to remind you of those days, make you feel nostalgic, and then somebody will sell you a t-shirt that makes you feel nostalgic. I mean, that's essentially what Christmas commercialism is to make you feel nostalgic of a time before you knew that the world sucked. And so there you go, right? LVC is currently bored. Well, I am the bore lord, right? What are you doing to yourself that you normally wouldn't be doing to yourself? And where did that come from? What destructive habits do you have? Look at the roots. If a person like myself is overweight, get mad at the fact that you're overweight. Get mad at the fact that you've been brought to this point. Because guys, when I was almost 400 pounds, I realized it, but I didn't realize it. Kind of like the meth head who's got the sores on the arms. They're like, I'm fine. I can quit anytime I want. You know. You should be mad at the fact that you can't. Go without sugar for 30 days. Go without sugar for a week. See if you can do it. And if you can't, that's what you have to look at. We can get all sciencey on why it's happening, but the reality is, what created that addiction? You should be angry at that. because that is what's contributing to the decline of Western civilization. That's why I always try to book live loads and live offloads, so I'm always out of the truck working. I tried going live yesterday, fun. Asian Mai Alex was interviewed on Freightways from the truck show. Was he at, look, I went to Branson, nobody was there. There was like 15 trucks, and Just Trucking wasn't there yet, and there was a couple other YouTubers that, were supposed to have been there, and I didn't see anybody. No, but I was going to make a comment about how most of us sitting here staring at our phones watching you, LOL. I guess it's time to snore and shut it off. Right? It's not so much sugar, it's the carbs. Marita? Yeah, I agree. Because you say, oh, I ate like 5 pounds of watermelon. Yeah, same difference, right? Need LVC to do more parodies to get us laughing. Need comedy, helps with depression. Distractions. Yes, CPAP. We need more distractions that keeps us from, seeing the realities of life so we don't do anything about them. That's what we need. We need distractions. I don't want to know that my life sucks. So I'm going to watch Netflix. I'm going to watch, YouTube. I'm going to watch people make fools of themselves on Netflix and or YouTube, right? Now, I'm not saying you got to be serious all the time. It is healthy to laugh. But just like a donut on occasion may not hurt, I don't know. I disagree. But, side note, going back to the food, right? What fuels heart disease? What fuels inflammation? What fuels diabetes? What fuels arthritis? What fuels Alzheimer? What fuels cancer? Sugar has been linked to be the poison in all of that. And, again, we kill ourselves with applause, right? With applause. But Steve, man, it's okay. It's okay, man. You can have a donut every now and then, right? Yeah, right? No, you cannot. Because when you get rid of that stuff in your life, the clarity, it's life-changing. But addiction is hard. It's hard to shake. And if you're a person that thinks you're smart now, just wait until you can clear your mind. Let your brain grow a little bit. Get some real vitamins in you. You don't have to be carnivore, but you can definitely be paleo. Hey, if it didn't have a mom or didn't come out of the ground, don't eat it. Plain and simple. And don't eat too much of it. Hey, kind of like what animals do out in the wild. When was the last time you saw an obese squirrel in the woods? Now, you might have seen them around the parks, but why? Because, you're giving them human food. Hey, here's squirrel, here's some bread. Or those birds that fly around Texas eating your French fries. Back when I still ate French fries, I once had a seagull, when I was in Florida, fly up and eat a French fry right out of my hand. It was my touching nature moment of giving this bird poison. And there were some fat seagulls, right? So what does that tell you? Nature kind of takes care of itself, right? Move up to Wisconsin, go ice fishing? I don't know, that sounds cold. I like it up in Wisconsin. Lots of dairy up there. Real milk, well, real cream, that's what you want, and real butter. There you go. And cheese without additives. Anyways, that's what this channel's for, is to express thoughts that people may or may not agree. And that's fine. We don't have to agree. My job or my purpose, I guess. I don't have a job. My purpose is to maybe make you go, huh, well, that's interesting. I never really thought of it that way. Because that's literally what I've been doing for the last 5 years. And to be honest with you, these revelations that are coming to me have happened um, when I got off the booze. I mean, sugar, food, just in time too. Because man, I was like, wow, I wonder why meat's so expensive. I wonder why meat's so expensive. But yet I can buy those Beyond Burgers, which they're being investigated by the way, which is no better than dog food. How many of your dogs and cats have had cancer? Where did that come from? And starving vulture. um, we're all feeding starving vultures, right? We're all feeding starving vultures that we call humans. So what you're saying, if I eat french fries, I can someday fly? Yep, fly up in the heavens. Your soul will fly. And people are like, well, what's so bad about french fries? It's just potatoes. Yeah, but 99.9% of french fries are cooked in vegetable oils, which if there's another enemy, if like, okay, sugar's, okay, let's do a mafia perspective, right? Sugar's Al Capone, right? Sugar's like, you know, that's the guy in charge. And vegetable and seed oil is like, hey man, he's the executor, right? You know, man, you can't have a Twinkie without vegetable oils. You can't have bread without vegetable oils. You know, hey, this is a low sugar product, but it's coated in canola oil, right? And that also causes heart disease, um, inflammation, cancers, right? When I was diagnosed with pre-diabetes, I watched what I ate, low carbs and low sugar. Took cinnamon, lowered my A1C from 6.4 to 5.7. Good deal. You, if you can't drive a truck anymore, what job would you like to do? I'm doing it. I like being a dispatcher. I like helping drivers out, and I like doing the safety aspect. Um, but if I truly had any job I wanted in the world, um, I don't know, something that helps humanity. To be honest with you, I mean, what good's being rich if you can't do some good with it, right? Meat not expensive if you don't eat 6 times a day. Absolutely, right? Depends on the portion size. I've seen ducks turn down French fries. I want to be a hitman. All the meat manufacturers are heavily invested in the fake meat. Why? Well, they see the writings on the wall, right? There's a war against them, just like the oil companies go, yeah, man, electric cars are good. But wait until we can capitalize it, just like the weed clinics, right? Marijuana places. Um, yeah, we'll make marijuana legal, but give us a minute to kind of put our feet where we need to go. And then we'll put one on every corner. If you've been in Oklahoma, you see that, right? We'll put one on every corner, and that way you're fat, dumb, and happy, and you won't know that we're slowly killing you every day. Thank you, CPAP. I try. I try. Um, Look, the reality is this: life is worth living. Don't let them rob you of your happiness. I swear to you with every fiber of my being that social media, that donut, the food, the 99% of the food that you see in that truck stop, the narratives on the news, the narratives on the ground, the fentanyl zombies walking around, that's designed to take away your happiness. It's designed to take over this country. Death by 1,000 cuts. Be aware, fight back, and pay attention to your surroundings, situational awareness. What good's all them AR-15s that you bought if you can't even run across the street? All you're doing is when things go down, Oh, gee, Steve, you should say if. No, when things go down, um, all you're doing is feeding the criminals because they're going to easily take you over, right? And yeah, go listen to Sage News' interview with Jeff Nyquist, and the other one where he interviews the person that left China. I can't pronounce her name, so I'm not going to disparage the situation. It is. You're right, CPAP. It is all bad. So, anyways, guys, I gotta go. I got things to do. I got a life to live, and I'm gonna be outdoors. And yeah, Z Man Fleet. Thank you, Sage News. Let's do this, Sage. Oh, I can't do that. I need to make you a moderator so you can post a link. But anyways, Sage News Live, Z Man Fleet. Anyways, death by a thousand cuts, people. How are you going to play your role in that? Peace.